The Uyghur language, formerly known as Eastern Turkey, is a Turkic language with 8 to 11 million speakers, spoken primarily by the Uyghur people in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of Western China. Significant communities of Uyghur speakers are located in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and various other countries have Uyghur-speaking expatriate communities. Uyghur is an official language of the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, and is widely used in both social and official spheres, as well as in print, radio, and television, and is used as a lingua franca by other ethnic minorities in Xinjiang. Uyghur belongs to the Karluk branch of the Turkic language family, which also includes languages such as Uzbek. Like many other Turkic languages, Uyghur displays vowel harmony and agglutination, lacks noun classes or grammatical gender, and is a left-branching language with subject-object-verb-word order. More distinctly, Uyghur processes include, especially in northern dialects, vowel reduction and umlauting. In addition to influence of other Turkic languages, Uyghur has historically been influenced strongly by Persian and Arabic, and more recently by Mandarin Chinese and Russian. The modified Arabic-derived writing system is the most common and the only standard in China, although other writing systems are used for auxiliary and historical purposes. Unlike most Arabic-derived scripts, the Uyghur Arabic alphabet has mandatory marking of all vowels due to modifications to the original Perso-Arabic script made in the 20th century. 2 Latin and 1 Cyrillic alphabet are also used, though to a much lesser extent. The Arabic and Latin alphabets both have 32 characters. History. The Middle Turkic languages of the direct ancestor of the Karluk languages, including Uyghur and the Uzbek language. Kagan Arik read that modern Uyghur is not descended from Old Uyghur, rather, it is a descendant of the Karluk language spoken by the Kara Khanate. According to Gerard Clausen, Western Uyghur is considered to be the true descendant of Old Uyghur, and is also called Neo-Uyghur. Modern Uyghur is not a descendant of Old Uyghur, but is descended from the Zakhani language described by Mahmud al-Kashgari in Diwan el-Lugar al-Turk. According to Frederick Cohen, modern Uyghur and Western Uyghur belong to entirely different branches of the Turkic language family, respectively the Southeastern Turkic languages and the Northeastern Turkic languages. The Western Uyghur language, although in geographic proximity, is more closely related to the Siberian Turkic languages in Siberia. Robert Dankoff wrote that the Turkic language spoken in Kashgar and used in Kara Khanate works was Karluk, not Uyghur. Robert Barclay Shaw wrote, in the Turkish of Kashgar and Yarkand. This would seem in many cases to be a misnomer as applied to the modem language of Kashgar. Sven Hedren wrote, in these cases it would be particularly inappropriate to normalize to the East Turkish literary language, because by so doing one would obliterate traces of national elements which have no immediate connection with the Kashgar Turks, but on the contrary are possibly derived from the ancient Uyghurs, probably around 1077, a scholar of the Turkic languages, Mahmud al-Kashgari from Kashgar in modern-day Xinjiang, published a Turkic language dictionary and description of the geographic distribution of many Turkic languages, Divan al-Lafat al-Turk. The book, described by scholars as an extraordinary work, documents the rich literary tradition of Turkic languages. It contains folk tales and didactic poetry, besides poems and poetry cycles on topics such as hunting and love, and numerous other language materials. Other Kara Khanate writers wrote works in the Turki Karluk Haqqani language. Yusuf Kas Hajib wrote the Kutad Gubaylig, Ahmad bin Mahmud Yukanaki wrote the Habat al-Hakayi, Middle Turkic languages, through the influence of Perso-Arabic after the 13th century, developed into the Chagatai language, a literary language used all across Central Asia until the early 20th century. After Chagatai fell into extinction, the standard versions of Uyghur and Uzbek were developed from dialects in the Chagatai-speaking region, showing abundant Chagatai influence. Uyghur language today shows considerable Persian influence as a result from Chagatai, including numerous Persian loanwords. Modern Uyghur religious literature includes the Tazkira, biographies of Islamic religious figures and saints. The Tazkira is a genre of literature written about Sufi Muslim saints in Altashar, written sometime in the period between 1700 and 1849. The Eastern Turkic language Tazkira of the Four Sacrificed Imams provides an account of the Muslim Karakanid war against the Khotanese Buddhists, containing a story about imams. From Madian city came 4 imams who traveled to help the Islamic conquest of Khotan, Yarkand, and Kashgar by Yusuf Qadir Khan, the Karakanid leader. The shrines of Sufi saints are revered in Altashar as one of Islam's essential components, and the Tazkira literature reinforced the sacredness of the shrines. Anyone who does not believe in the stories of the saints is guaranteed hellfire by the Tazkiras. It is written, and those who doubt the holinesses the Imams will leave this world without faith, and on Judgment Day their faces will be black. In the Tazkira of the Four Sacrificed Imams, Shaw translated extracts from the Tazkiratul Buffer on the Muslim Turkey war against the infidel Khotan. The Turkey language Tadkira-i Khwajagin was written by M. Sadiq Kashgari. Historical works like the Tariq-i Amniya and Tariq-i Hamidi were written by Musa Sairami. The Qing dynasty commissioned dictionaries on the major languages of China, which included Chagatai Turkey, such as the Pentaglot Dictionary. Shaw and Christian missionaries such as George W. Hunter, Johannes Avatranian, Magnus Backlund, Niels Frederick Hollier, Father Hendricks, Joseph Masruhr, Anna Masruhr, Albert Anderson, Gustav Albert, Stina Martinson, John Tornquist, Gosta Raquette, Oscar Hermanson, The Convert to Christianity, N.U.R. Luke, Harold Whittaker, and Turkologist Gunnar Jaring studied the Uyghur language and wrote works on it, calling it Eastern Turkey. Shaw wrote in his book that it was Europeans at his time who called the language Uyghur, while the native inhabitants of Yarkand and Kashgar did not call it by that name but called it Turkey. And Shaw wrote that the name Uyghur was a misnomer when referring to Kashgar's language. A Turkish convert to Christianity, Johannes Avatranian, went to China to spread Christianity to the Uyghurs. Jacopisti Pan Wurk Aishi and Alamu Jang Yimiti are other Uyghurs who converted to Christianity. The Bible was translated into the Kashgari dialect of Turkey. The historical term Uyghur was appropriated for the language that had been known as Eastern Turkey by government officials in the Soviet Union in 1922 and in Xinjiang in 1934. Sergei Malov was behind the idea of renaming Turkey to Uyghurs. The use of the term Uyghur has led to anachronisms when describing the history of the people. In one of his books, the term Uyghur was deliberately not used by James Millwood. The name Kakania was given to the Karluks who inhabited Kashgar and Balasaran. The inhabitants were not Uyghur, but the language has been retroactively labeled as Uyghur by scholars. The Karakanids called their own language the Turk or Kashgar language, and did not use Uyghur to describe their own language. Uyghur was used to describe the language of non-Muslims, but Chinese scholars have anachronistically called a Karakhanid work written by Kashgari as Uyghur. Classification. The Uyghur language belongs to the Karluk Turkic branch of the Turkic language family. It is closely related to Uyghur Turkey, the extinct language Chagatai, and more distantly to Uzbek. Early linguistic scholarly studies of Uyghur include Julius Klaproth's 1812 dissertation on language and script of the Uyghurs, which was disputed by Isaac Jacob Schmidt. In this period, Klaproth correctly asserted that Uyghur was a Turkic language, while Schmidt believed that Uyghur should be classified with Tangut languages. Dialects. It is widely accepted that Uyghur has three main dialects, all based on the geographical distribution. Each of these main dialects have a number of subdialects which all are mutually intelligible to some extent. Central, spoken in an area stretching from Kumal towards south to Yarkand. Southern, spoken in an area stretching from Guma towards east to Karluk. Eastern, spoken in an area stretching from Karluk towards north to Ongkol. The central dialects are spoken by 90% of the Uyghur-speaking population, while the two other branches of dialects only are spoken by a relatively small minority. The vowel reduction is common in the northern parts of where Uyghur is spoken, but not in the south. Status. Uyghur is spoken by about 8 to 11 million people in total. In addition to being spoken primarily in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of Western China, mainly by the Uyghur people, Uyghur was also spoken by some 300,000 people in Kazakhstan in 1993, some 90,000 in Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan in 1998, 3,000 in Afghanistan and 1,000 in Mongolia, both in 1982. Smaller communities also exist in Albania, Australia, Belgium, Canada, Germany, Indonesia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Sweden, Taiwan, Tajikistan, Turkey, United Kingdom and the United States. The Uyghurs are one of the 56 recognized ethnic groups in China, and Uyghur is an official language of Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, along with Standard Chinese. As a result, Uyghur can be heard in most social domains in Xinjiang, and also in schools, government and courts. Of the other ethnic minorities in Xinjiang, those populous enough to have their own autonomous prefectures, such as the Kazakhs and the Kyrgyz, have access to schools and government services in the native language. Smaller minorities, however, do not have a choice and must attend Uyghur medium schools. These include the Xibe, Tajiks, Dors, and Russians. About 80 newspapers and magazines are available in Uyghur. 5 TV channels and 10 publishers serve as the Uyghur media. Outside of China, Radio Free Asia and TRT provide news in Uyghur. Phonology. Vowels. The vowels of the Uyghur language are, in their alphabetical order, A, E, I, O, U. There are no diphthongs in Uyghur, and when two vowels come together, which occurs in some loan words, each vowel retains its individual sound, and disregarding vowel length distinction in current Uyghur orthographies. The Uyghur vowel system is characterized by the oppositions front versus back, high versus low, and unrounded versus rounded. The Uyghur vowel system may be subcategorized on the basis of height, backness and roundness. It has been argued, within a lexical phonology framework, that E has a back counterpart. A modern Uyghur lacks a clear differentiation I. Uyghur vowels are by default short, but some phonologists have argued that long vowels also exist because of historical vowel assimilation and through loanwords. Underlyingly long vowels would resist vowel reduction and devoicing, introduce non-final stress, and be analyzed as vj or vr before a few suffixes. However, the conditions in which they are actually pronounced is distinct from the short counterparts have not been fully researched. The high vowels undergo some tensing when they occur adjacent to alveolars, palatals, dentals, and post-alveolar affricates, e.g., Tyrak, Lamp, Yenub, Southern, Yuz, Facepundred, Suda, in Atwater. Both undergo apicalization after alveodental continuance in unstressed syllables, e.g., Sila, U, Z, and Harm. They are medialized after I or before L, e.g., till Tunch's network, job, service. After velas, uvulas, and f, they are realized as e.g., Jaram, Gram, Zielchi, his nation, Fin. Between two syllables that contain a rounded back vowel each, they are realized as back, e.g., Kolimu, also his arm. Any vowel undergoes laxing and backing when it occurs in uvular and laryngeal environments, e.g., Qiz, girl, Kietic, yogurt, kage, paper, kum, sand, kole, convenient, Qan, blood, equals mouth, hisab, number, hes, hunch, hemra, partner, hole, wet, hujum, assault, halka, ring. Lowering tends to apply to the non-high vowels when a syllable final liquid assimilates to them, e.g., kor, look. Boldy, he became, does, lesson, tar, narrow. Official Uyghur orthographies do not mark vowel length, and also do not distinguish between and back. These two sounds are in complementary distribution, but phonological analyses claim that they play a role in vowel harmony in a separate phonemes. E only occurs in words of non-Turkic origin and is the result of vowel raising. Uyghur has systematic vowel reduction as well as vowel harmony. Words usually agree in vowel backness, but compounds, loans, and some other exceptions often break vowel harmony. Suffixes surface with the rightmost value in the stem, and e are transparent. Uyghur also has rounding harmony. Consonants Uyghur voiceless stops are aspirated word initially and intervocalically. The pairs p, b, t, d, k, and q alternate with the voiced member devoicing in syllable final position, except in word initial syllables. This devoicing process is usually reflected in the official orthography, but an exception has been recently made for certain Perso-Arabic loans. Voiceless phonemes do not become voiced in standard Uyghur. Suffixes display a slightly different type of consonant alternation. The phonemes, and anywhere in a suffix alternate is governed by vowel harmony, where occurs with front vowels and with back ones. Devoicing of a suffix initial consonant can occur only in the cases of d and when the preceding consonant is voiceless. Lastly, the rule that epigram must occur with front vowels and with back vowels can be broken when either or in suffix initial position becomes assimilated by the other due to the preceding consonant being such. Loan phonemes have influenced Uyghur to various degrees. D and I were borrowed from Arabic and have been nativized, while from Persian less so. F only exists in very recent Russian and Chinese loans, since Perso-Arabic F became Uyghur P. Perso-Arabic loans have also made the contrast between K and Q phonemic, as they occur as allophones in native words. The former set near front vowels and the latter near back vowels. Some speakers of Uyghur distinguish V from within Russian loans, but this is not represented in most orthographies. Other phonemes occur natively only in limited contexts, i.e., per hour, only in few interjections, d and, rarely initially, and z only morpheme final. Therefore, the pairs *t, d, and *per second, z do not alternate. Phonotactics. The primary syllable structure of Uyghur is CV. Uyghur syllable structure is usually CVC, but CVCC can also occur in some words. When syllable coda clusters occur, CC tends to become CVC in some speakers, especially if the first consonant is not a sonorant. In Uyghur, any consonant phoneme can occur as the syllable onset coda, except for, which only occurs in the onset, and n, which never occurs word initially. In general, Uyghur phonology tends to simplify phonemic consonant clusters by means of elision and epenthesis. Orthography. The Karluk language started to be written with the Perso-Arabic script in the 10th century upon the conversion of the Kara Khanates to Islam. This Perso-Arabic script was reformed in the 20th century with modifications to represent all modern Uyghur sounds, including short vowels, and eliminate Arabic letters representing sounds not found in modern Uyghur. Unlike many other modern Turkic languages, Uyghur is primarily written using an Arabic alphabet, although a Cyrillic alphabet and two Latin alphabets also are in use to a much lesser extent. Unusually for an alphabet based on the Persian, full transcription of vowels is indicated. The four alphabets in use today can be seen below. Uyghur Arabic alphabet UEY. Uyghur Cyrillic alphabet USY. The Uyghur New Script UYY. Uyghur Latin alphabet ULY. In the table below, the alphabets are shown side by side for comparison, together with a phonetic transcription in the International Phonetic Alphabet. Grammar. Uyghur is an agglutinative language with a subject-object-verb-word order. Nouns are inflected for number and case but not gender and definiteness like in many other languages. There are two numbers, singular and plural, and 6 different cases: nominative, accusative, dative, locative, ablative, and genitive. Verbs are conjugated for tense, present and past, voice, causative and passive, aspect, continuous, and mood, e.g., ability. Verbs may be negated as well. Lexicon. The core lexicon of the Uyghur language is of Turkic stock, but due to different kinds of language contact through the history of the language, it has adopted many loanwords. Kazakh, Uzbek and Chagatai are all Turkic languages which have had a strong influence on Uyghur. Many words of Arabic origin have come into the language through Persian and Tajik, which again have come through Uzbek, and to a greater extent, Chagatai. Many words of Arabic origin have also entered the language directly through Islamic literature after the introduction of the Islamic religion around the 10th century. Chinese in Xinjiang and Russian elsewhere had the greatest influence on Uyghur. Loanwords from these languages are all quite recent, although older borrowings exist as well, such as borrowings from Dungan, a Mandarin language spoken by the Dungan people of Central Asia. A number of loanwords of German origin have also reached Uyghur through Russian. Below are some examples of loanwords which have entered the Uyghur language.